Today we are going to be talking to Rob Williams, who is a very well-known filmmaker who has come all the way from LA to be with us. He is a filmmaker in focus. This year we are playing 3 of his films. And we have Meenakshi Shedde, a very, very well-known curator and film critic. And she has programmed for some of the biggest film festivals around the world, including Berlin.
Thank you, Sridhar, for inviting me. Thank you all for coming. Welcome, Rob.
Thank you.
So I'm actually India consultant to the Berlin and Dubai film festivals, and I curate for festivals worldwide. It's a great honor for me to have the opportunity to talk to Rob and to introduce him to you. The first thing I'd like to ask him, actually I should actually mention he's made a body of 6 films since 2006. Some of the titles are Long-Term Relationship, 3 of them are shown here. Long-Term Relationship, Back Soon, 3-Day Weekend, Make the Yuletide Gay, Role Play we just played. So he's really made a big gesture to Kashish by being here, and we deeply appreciate that. Tell us, when you look back on your journey, what are the milestones, what have been the milestones for you?
The milestones, the first milestone was obviously making the decision to get into film. And that came at a point where I was, very dissatisfied with my career. My career was in public relations, and I was not happy with that. I was looking for something a little more creative, and I had written a script called Long-Term Relationship in a writing group that I went to, and I think the first milestone was I showed the script to Matthew Montgomery, who ended up starring in the film. He was a good friend of mine. He's an actor, and he said, "You should make this film, and I should star in it." And so it was very, self-serving of him. But that was kind of the first milestone where someone actually read one of my scripts and said, "You should do this yourself." And then the decision to actually do it based on not the fact that I went to film school, because I didn't, just the fact that I love movies.
But I have to say that should not take away from the fact that it was a bloody good first film to begin with, and that's why they would have picked it up.
That's true. It's really good. You should watch it.
So tell us how you arrived at that final film from the first draft.
I just set out, first of all, just to make a romantic comedy, period. It's like I wanted to have a gay romantic comedy that was structured exactly like a Hollywood mainstream romantic comedy. Boy meets boy, boy falls in love with boy, boy loses boy, boy gets up boy back, and they live happily ever after. And then just trying to come up with the different conflicts, I thought, what's the one thing that would be the deal breaker for me? What would that be? Republican. And so I just used that, but we used it with humor so that, we didn't want to make him, evil and bad like a real Republican, but not that I feel strongly at all, but we just want to use it, and it's like you can bring up those issues without making it so serious, and you can touch on those while still just kind of focusing on the story, which is the romance and the happy ending, and that's really what it's all about. That movie was like, I want to show a happy ending. I want to show a film where the gay characters don't die in the end. So
when you're choosing to write the screenplay, is it that because already you're in a gay relationship, you're an active member of the gay community, you're a gay director, gay film director, are you essentially driven by issues that are concerning you and the gay community, or is it just great story, something that's an emotional thing, and you weave something around it? What is the starting point for your stories?
Well, they're all different. I mean, with Long-Term Relationship, it was really starting with the idea. I want to do a romantic comedy. With Make the Yuletide Gay, it's a Christmas comedy about a college student who is trying to come out to his parents when he's home for the holidays. His boyfriend shows up, surprises him, and realizes that he's not out to his parents. There's wackiness. So I just wanted to start with the idea of, because I think when you're, late teens, early 20s, there are always these things you hide from your parents, and, in the gay community, it's the idea of coming out. So I thought everyone could relate to that. So how do we make that where it's not a tragic coming out? Mother, I'm gay. I hate you. I leave my house. It's like, no. And a lot of it is that sort of wish fulfillment and putting it out there. And with that movie, it was very much let's have a coming out story. I wrapped it around a Christmas story and made it the sort of ideal setting of mom, dad, I'm gay, and they say, I love you no matter what, I don't care.
Would you like to tell us what you've learned about distribution films from your experience that gives you the confidence to do it yourself now?
Well, really, things have changed so much just with the internet. Allows you to sell your work directly to fans. It allows you to get it on Amazon and iTunes and everything yourself in ways that you couldn't have done, 6, 7 years ago when we started. So just the market has changed and the technology has changed where you can sell your film on your own website and, you control it, you make the money. The money's not going to the distributor, which is always a good thing. And you can have control over it in a way that you couldn't before. And that's important.
Do you have, in India we struggle a lot with issues of censorship, hugely, at the film level, let alone gay films. Is that something that's quite a relatively, in the larger ecosystem, a relatively smaller battle for a gay director? Censorship?
Censorship? Frankly, I never even think about it. Partly because our films don't really play in theaters. They play film festivals. They go directly to DVD. They never get rated by the ratings board in America or really anywhere else. So
you're saying actually a theatrical release is not even a dream for you? I mean, it's so distant that you're not thinking of it?
It's a dream.
Yeah.
I mean, but right now, getting an independent film in theaters, period, is almost impossible. Getting a gay-themed film in theaters is just, it's a myth at this point.
There is one scene in that movie when Glenn, after the sexual interaction at Adam's place, he's totally nude and he comes for a water. And over there, Adam's dad is sitting and he sees him, like Glenn. And that is a real deep conversation. But in fact, it is like fantasy for me, like Indian gay, or it's like unreal thing for me. I'm totally fully nude and having conversation with my boyfriend's father. So from where did you get the inspiration for that scene? It was really, really touchy, but at the same time, I'm seeing like two contrast things over there. I'm totally nude and like, please explain me, from where did you get the inspiration? Did you get an inspiration from real story or a real person? Or was it just your idea?
It was not based on any real experience. How can I embarrass the actor as much as possible and make him really uncomfortable? And, he was like, do you want me to show everything? And I was like, yeah, I want you to show everything. And he was like, okay. And so he was game, he did it, and we did let it, he put a little hot mat over his crotch. We let him keep that.
So, Rob, very often, we have had discussions and debates that when an actor comes out as an openly gay man, he comes out openly as a gay man, industry normally takes him, that, okay, so they're not very kind to him, he gets branded as a gay actor, straight roles will not go to him, okay, so now he can play only gay roles. Yeah. How much do you see the same being extended to filmmakers? That, okay, so he's doing gay-themed films, so he can do only gay-themed films, that I don't think we can trust him with a subject that's not gay. How much of branding happens that, okay, so he's just a gay filmmaker. He's not a filmmaker.
I don't think it's as much, he's a gay filmmaker, I don't trust him with this. I think it's a matter of, he's working with budgets like this, and do we trust him with a budget that's this? Oh, and because there are actually a lot of gay directors and gay, writers, and really in the writing world in Hollywood, no one cares. It's a really different world. I mean, when you're dealing with multi-million-dollar budgets, I don't really think they care. I just think they want you to be good.
Incidentally, this is the role play is the first film I got to see at the festival. So I found that very interesting, you know, like, and I wanted to ask the same question, like, there's a difference between being, oh, so he's a professional gay, and here's an actor who's in the closet and doesn't want to come out as a professional gay. Yeah. So I thought probably, yes, like, as someone who's been openly out as a gay man, working in the community, one does live with this label of being professional gay. Yeah. You know, so how much of that labeling bothers or matters?
It's tough because on the one hand, it really shouldn't matter. And, you know, just in general in life, you know, the fact that you're gay at whatever you do really shouldn't matter. But like for me, this is the market I'm in. This is, you know, I'm making gay films. I'm very proud to make gay films. I'm very proud to be an out filmmaker, going to gay film festivals, and this is my thing. And, you know, if that makes me, as the character in the film, you know, it's like, if that makes me a professional gay, you know, that's fine. Because I think it's important that we have people who focus on our issues and whose lives do, and whose careers are centered on that. Because there are a lot of people who spend a lot of time with, you know, educating people about homosexuality, educating people about, you know, AIDS awareness and everything else. And, you know, it's like, you know, we need people to stand up and say, yes, I'm gay and I'm fighting for this issue.